Welcome back to Get Control of Magic the Gathering. It's your host Joey here. Go over a little something different today. We're going to go over the 5 colors of Magic because I got a request on how to play, but before I do that, I want to go over the 5 colors. So it's simple. I'm going to go over the basic land types. You got your forest, which produce green mana. You got your mountains, which produce red. You got your plains, which produce white mana. And that glare, apparently. You got your swamps, which produce black, and you got your islands, which produce blue. So I'm going to give you some examples on what each color does, what they're wanting to accomplish. You know, I can't show you every card in the world. I'm just going to show you some basic card types and what each color is trying to do, pretty much. So let me start with good old green here. Green's all about nature and life. Sorry, had to get a drink there. Green's all about nature and life. It's all about getting their small creatures ramping their mana into big creatures and big spells. So let me give you some examples of that. First of all, you got your elves, which help you ramp your mana. If you tap it, you can't do it as soon as it brings out. It just has summoning sickness, just like every other creature without haste. This has summoning sickness, but once you get it out, wait a turn, you get to produce a green mana. So it's going to help you ramp into your big old spells and creatures. Basic. This is just basic green for you. You want to get as much mana as possible out to help you cast your big old spells, big old creatures. So, green's all about ramping, and another way to help you ramp is stuff like Explore. Cost 2, you may play an additional land this turn and draw a card. So you're getting a lot of mana out with your Elvish Mystic and your Explore. And what are you going to cast once you get the mana out? You're wanting to get the mana out to produce for these big old creatures, just like your Terra Stomper here. Terra Stomper can't be countered as trample, which means if this creature would assign enough damage to its blockers to destroy them, you may have it assign the rest of its damage to defending player or planeswalker. So I'll go in depth on the abilities and stuff later, but this is pretty much what green is wanting to do. You're wanting to get your ramping your big creatures. Do stuff like Giant Growth to make them even bigger. Giant Growth gives target creature +3/+3 until end of turn. So this is an 8/8, comes a 11/11 real fast with stuff like this. Giant Growth. Then you got Titanic Growth, +4/+4, just like Giant Growth. Just like Giant Growth, just a little bit bigger and costs a little bit more. You also have stuff like Overcome. Creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain trample during turn. So say you didn't have trample, give your elves trample and +2/+2, so you're gonna be hitting them for a lot of damage really fast. Once you ramp up your stuff, you're gonna be hitting them for a lot of damage. Now, a downside to green is they do not have a lot of flying creatures. They do have creatures with reach, which helps them out a little bit, but they rely on spells like Plummet here to destroy creatures with flying. Like I said, there's hundreds of thousands of different cards. I'm just giving you some examples. So this is pretty much what green is trying to do. Ramp into your big spells. Play some small little creatures to help you ramp. Play some, explorers to help you get some extra land. Ramp into your big stuff and just overwhelm them really fast. Nature and life. That's green for you. Moving on to the next color, we're going to go over red. Try to do this in order how we presented them. So red's all about fire, lightning, and emotion, and just doing damage as quick as possible, killing your opponent as quick as possible. So mountain, red. You got stuff. The cost really cheap, like Lightning Bolt. Does 3 damage to target creature or player. Costs 1. It's very simple, but it gets the job done really fast. You're wanting to kill your opponents as fast as possible. This is a good way to start out. lightning bolt. Then you got, lightning strike, which is pretty much the same thing, just costs more. But you can only have 4 lightning bolts and 4 lightning strikes in your deck, and you'll have 4 of each non-basic land. You can only have 4 copies of each spell as long as it's a non-basic land. You can have as many basic lands as you want in your deck, but if it's not a basic land, you're limited to only 4. So, you got your lightning strike, then you got your lightning bolt, then you got your lava axes. Lava axe deals 5 damage to target player, costs a lot, but it's brutal if you get to cast it and do 5 damage straight to the target player's face. Now, creatures have what you call summoning sickness, which means they can't activate abilities or attack as soon as they come out. Red has a lot of creatures with haste, which means, I'll just show you an example. Haste means this creature can attack and tap, which means they can tap for their abilities or, use their abilities as soon as they come in under your control. So as soon as I play them, I could attack you for 4 damage. Simple as that. Red wants a lot of haste creatures and a lot of ways to deal damage as quick as possible. So if, say, your creature doesn't have haste, Messenger Speed gives them haste, gives them enchanted creature, has trample, and haste. So this is pretty much the basic what Red is wanting to do, deal damage as quick as possible with your lightning bolts and your lightning strikes and your lava axes. Red's a good color to start out with. Red and green are the colors I recommend new players starting out with. They're so easy to learn. You get the basis of how to play. Both pretty decent colors. They got some downsides to them, but this is what Red wants to do: deal damage as quick as possible. Let's go on to our next color. Next color is white. Good old white. What is white all about? White is all about protection and justice and little armies and big old angels. So let's go over some white cards for you. Like I said, white has a lot of small creatures, and they don't really have big creatures besides their angels, but they cost a ton to cast. They don't have ramp like green, so a way to help you get your stuff out without dying, they have what you call removal. Stuff like Pillar of Light. Like I said, white's all about justice, so you might have a big creature, but guess what? I got Pillar of Light. Exile target creature with toughness 4 or greater. So you got a big old 8/8 Terror Stomper, let's say. Guess what? I play this, he's gone now. He ain't coming back. He's dead. He's gone, he ain't coming back. Ain't gotta worry about him. And justice. White's all about justice, like I said. So you attack me, guess what? You're gonna have to deal. I'm gonna deal some damage to your creatures. You're gonna have to take some damage for attacking me. You can't just attack me without paying a cost. Okay, let's just say that. Justice. Sandblast does 5 damage to target creature, attacking or blocking creature. So, all about justice, all about keeping you in line. You got stuff like you got your soldiers and your angels and all your small little guys. This is your basic white creature. It's all about not control, but it's all about protection and keeping you in line. So, Gideon's Lawkeeper costs 1, human soldier. But you can tap a plains and tap him, tap target creature. So you have that big old 8/8 or 9/9 or whatever you got. Fix an attack. I'm gonna tap him, tap a plains, tap him, and tap that creature so it can't attack me. So I'm keeping you in line, keeping you in order until I can get some big old angels out. Victory's Herald, flying. Whenever Victory's Herald attacking creatures, you gain flying and lifelink until end of your turn. So you're gonna be gaining life, dealing some damage, keeping them in line until you can get your big old angels or your game changers out. Like I said, there's hundreds of thousands of different cards. I'm giving you some, pretty quick examples on these colors here. So don't be like, oh, that's all white does. No, you have so much different stuff you could do with this game. I'm just giving you some examples, guys. So white has what you call board wipes. Destroy all creatures and all permanent attached creatures. A couple more board wipes in there. There's more board wipes than in hostilities, I know. I'm just giving you an example. So you're destroying a lot of creatures. your creatures don't cost much, so you could recover from this really fast. You know, say your opponent's playing green and he just overwhelms you with a lot of creatures early. Turn 5, you're like, what should I do? You pull in hostilities, you blow up the board, play your big old angel next turn, and he's going to have to deal with it. So, basic white cards here. But I didn't cover enchantments because white has a lot of enchantments. They have stuff like Oblivion Ring. When Oblivion Ring comes into play, remove another target non-land permanent from the game. When Oblivion Ring leaves the play, return the removed card to play under its owner's control. So, keeping you in line, keeping you in order with stuff like this. Like I said earlier, white doesn't have a lot of huge creatures. They have a lot of soldiers and angels. Let's say you have you're running soldier deck. You're just trying to overwhelm them with numbers. It's all about numbers with white in your army. So you got enchantments to help boost their power and toughness. Dictate of Heliod has flash. Creatures you control get a +2/+2. So white's trying to keep you in order to build their army up, overwhelm you with, you know, enchantments and destruction and removal to do their damage with their soldiers and angels and keep you in line. Make sure you know who you're messing with when you mess with white. Let's go on to the next color. Let's talk about black. Got your swamp here. What is black? Black is death and power and killing your opponent's creatures and making room for your big old demons and vampires and stuff like that. So let me give you some examples of what black is, what black truly is. Sorry, got some saliva built up from talking so much. So blue, you have a lot of draw spells. With black, you have discard spells. Duress. Target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land card from it. That player discards it. So instead of drawing cards, you're making your opponent discard their cards. That's a basic black card for you. To go along with black, you have removal. You got stuff like Hero's Downfall, which destroys target creature or planeswalker. This is a basic Flesh to Dust. Destroy target creature. It can't be regenerated. So you're destroying creatures, making room for your big old demons. Stuff like Archfiend of Depravity. It's a demon. For 5, you get a flying. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, that player chooses up to 2 creatures he or she controls, then sacrifices the rest. And it's a 5/4. So with this guy out, they're going to be able only to have 2 creatures at a time. Then you have stuff like Flesh to Dust to help you remove more creatures, giving you a clear path with your demons to kill them good, and they're dead. Just like white, black also has board wipes. Stuff like Crooks of Fate, choose one, destroy all dragons creatures, or destroy all non-dragon creatures. This is a basic black board wipe. There's a lot better blow-ups than Crooks of Fate, I know. I'm just giving you some examples here. So this is pretty much what black wants to do, is destroy your stuff, kill your stuff, make way for the big old demons or vampires, and you know, spot remove and mass remove enough to where they have an advantage with their big old guys, which have a lot of enter the battlefield effects or active effects, and they're just trying to kill you, kill your creatures, and get the job done. That's black for you. So we only got one more color left, my personal favorite color, which we're fixing to go over here in 2 seconds. You got your blue, your islands, which produce blue mana. Blue, what is blue? Blue is all about manipulation and trickery and, you know, counter spells and, you know, very hard creatures to get removed, flying creatures, illusions and stuff like that. They want to trick you into believing stuff that's not actually happening. They're going to counter your stuff, get some creatures out that are really hard to handle. I'm finna give you some examples on what blue actually is. Blue's all about the counter spells. Counter target non-creature spell. This is called negate. Cost 2. Counter target non-creature spell. Then you got stuff like cancel. Pretty self-explanatory counter target spell. Cost 3. Counter spells. Making way for, you know, your illusions and your hard cards to get rid of. So You know, you want to draw a lot of cards with blue, so blue's all about card draw and counter spells and really hard creatures to get removed. So you got stuff like Blue Sun Xena, cost X. X means whatever mana you put in towards, so you have to pay at least 3 blues. Then say I pay 6, so I pay 3 blues and 3 more, which goes to the X. So I get to draw X cards and shuffle this card back into my library. So I'm getting 3 cards. You can pay for 1,000 if you have the mana for it. So blue's really all about drawing cards, counter their spells, getting tough old creatures like good old Aetherling out. Aetherling's a beast if you get him out, by the way. He's really hard to remove. Exile Aetherling, return it to its players. Return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So let's say they're playing black. They destroy my creature. On the stack, I could tap a blue, exile him until end turn, so guess what? He's not destroyed anymore. So it's all about, you know, trickery and manipulation with blue. So everything's not as it seems when you're playing against blue. That's why I love blue. You know, red has, I didn't show you, I should have showed you a red card that lets you gain control of a creature temporarily, but blue has, you know, let you enchant a creature, let you control the enchanted creature permanently. So blue, you can control their creatures. You might not have a lot of creatures in your deck because you have a lot of counter spells, a lot of large casting cost creatures, so you have a way to get their big old guy with stuff like mind control, control their spells, control their creatures, and you know, to get the job done. But you know, blue has board wipes in a way. It's really trickery, like we said earlier. Blue's all about trickery. So they have stuff like Aether Spouts, cost 5, but you know, it's at instant speed. For each attacking creature, its owner puts it on top or bottom of his or her library. So let's say they attack you. You have just your good old Aetherling to block them. They have like 5 or 10 creatures that they're attacking with. You don't have nothing to deal with them besides stuff like Aether Spouts. You know, this is blue for you. Counter spells, trickery. Blue's all about counter spells, getting your illusionary creatures out, stuff that's really hard to get rid of. You know, tricking them. Say, oh yeah, go ahead and attack me. Guess what? Return all your creatures to your hand. Now you don't have the mana to pay for them. I'm fixing to attack you with Aetherling, you know, for a lot of damage next turn, and you can't get rid of them. So I know I kind of went through the 5 colors fast. I'm just trying to give you a basic idea on which each color does. I'm going to go more in depth on how to play in our next video. Hope you guys liked it. I know my mouth is really dry. I feel like I can't talk right now. I've been talking a lot. I've been trying to practice, give you guys a good presentation. I want to give a shout out to Ultra Pro. I use their deck boxes for everything. Got their clear for my Commander. This is the dual deck. I keep, you know, my expensive cards, and I trust their products to protect my expensive cards. So if you guys are getting into Magic, you guys want a good, you know, inexpensive deck box to help protect your cards, I recommend Ultra Pro. Just something I recommend. You don't have to do it, but it's what I recommend. You guys get. Love Ultra Pro. Love everything about them. I hope you guys enjoy the videos. This is Joe with Get Control Magic Gathering. Until next time, y'all have a good day, good night, wherever you are. Thank you guys for watching. God bless. I hope you guys enjoyed the video.